Sooner fans? Welcome into a very special Sooner Spotlight edition. We've got live right now, our first live stream, so a huge thank you to anyone who does tune in. And you know what? This is the place to come to for pre-game warm-ups, just getting ready for the game tonight. It's going to be an amazing atmosphere. I'm already feeling it. So just a quick warning, this is our first ever live stream on this channel, and I'm trying to run everything by myself. I've got 3 screens right in front of me, trying to run it all. So please bear with me as we get through this. But I want to let you guys know you can call in. It's a Zoom link that is down below. So if you click on that Zoom link, if I see calls come in, I will try to get to you and let you guys jump in with me. We're going to try to keep this pregame show to about 30 to 40 minutes, at max. But you know what? If we're having a good time, we're going to get these things rolling. We're going to get these things really going, and they're going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we can reach out to more Sooner fans as we get further along. Of course, this is a new channel, guys. So please, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That helps us kind of defeat the YouTube algorithm, which is really against channels, it seems like, especially anymore today, where there's just so many channels out there with just about anything on them. So, it just makes it a lot easier for us to be able to be searched. So please hit that like button and go ahead and comment down below. If you don't want to call in through that Zoom link down in the description, you can still call down, or you can comment down below in the live chat as well. And I will try to look down here at this screen every once in a while to see if there's any new chats that pop up. So please chat down in the live chat, get that going. And if you would, since this is our first time, if you would just share this out with one friend, share it on social media, however you see fit. Just share it with one person if you could. That way we can try to get this thing going. But let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. We've got Oklahoma versus Temple tonight, week 1. It's finally here, and it's Friday. It's Friday right now. I am in Norman, getting ready to go down to the campus, get to walk around, go and finally feel this SEC environment. It'll be I'm trying to think. I've been to a lot of stadiums. I've been to a lot of Big 10 stadiums, Big 12 stadiums. I'm trying to think of where else I might have been. I know I've been to Cincinnati a few times. I've been to several NFL stadiums. I don't know that I've ever been to an SEC stadium, so this will be the first SEC stadium that I've ever been to. Not my first time in Norman. It's been a little while since I've been down, been able to go to a game. It's been a while for any of us. But week 1, it's going to be an exciting one. We're going to jump into it. We're going to talk about what to expect on offense, what to expect on defense, and then just overall, I want to also get your guys' opinion. Go ahead and jump in the chat and let me know, who do you think is going to score the first Oklahoma touchdown tonight? I want to know. And then also, do you have any score predictions? Throw your score predictions down there. I'll try to remind you all of this because we're going to get to them here on the chart here. But if you have any score predictions, throw those down below. And then also season predictions / bold predictions on the season. I put a couple of posts out trying to get people's bold predictions on the season, and a lot of them, I don't think they understood the term bold. And what that meant, but that's okay. We had a lot of different season predictions, to say the least, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and looking at it, I want to also be able to bring that up on my phone to be able to make sure that I get all of them, because there was some on social media and then some on YouTube, so I was able to save some of them in my notes, some of them weren't. I also want to give a huge shout out to Monica. She's the one that's hosting my Airbnb here. She was super awesome, super polite, and reached out to me extremely quick timing. It was kind of a last minute decision for me to come to Norman to go to the game, and huge shout out again to my friend Jay. He's over with Unfair Sports. You can search for him over there, Unfair Sports, and he's also with Locked On Sooners. He hooked me up with the tickets tonight too, so that was pretty awesome. Everything fell in line. Everything fell in line perfectly. So a huge shout out to Monica, and let me double check. It's I want to make sure that I get the name right, but whatever it is, if I can pull it up on my Airbnb app here. I think it's called The Links or something like that. But anyways, it's a very, very cool Airbnb, very awesome. I really appreciate her for being so quick in her response and everything. But guys, jump in the chat down below. Again, give me your score predictions for tonight. Give me who you think is going to score the first touchdown. And then also some season predictions, bold predictions specifically. But let's go ahead and get into this. Starting off by previewing the game tonight. We've already done a little bit of a preview. Again, a huge thanks to Parker Thune for jumping on this past week to talk with us in his busy schedule. One of the best OU insiders. If you don't know who Parker Thune is, you must not be on social media for following Oklahoma Sooners athletics. And he's also with OU Insider. But we already talked a little bit about this, but I wanted to kind of give my thoughts more because I think I let Parker kind of give his thoughts more in our preview earlier in the week. If you didn't check out that episode, go ahead and check that out too before game time tonight. Game time is at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be on ESPN, so if those who aren't really sure where to find it, it's on ESPN. You should be able to get it from any cable networks, as long as you have ESPN. It will not be on. I've seen a lot of people saying it's going to be on ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus is a different thing. So for those who don't understand, ESPN Plus is it will say ESPN Plus is where the game is at. If it's on ESPN, you have to get something like a YouTube TV, Hulu Live, a cable provider, something like that. So hopefully that helps people out. But you know what? If you can't catch the game, we're going to be back on the channel to make sure we recap what happened in the game, what we saw, what we like, what we don't like, what we want to improve, all that fun stuff. But let's go ahead and get into it. Some of the things that I want to look into, and we're going to start over on the offense, what to expect from the offense. We're Oklahoma fans. We expect a lot from our offense, right? We expect our offense to be rolling. We expect our offense to put up a lot of points. And it's not going to change just because we have a defensive-minded coach. We still want that offense to be able to run. We want them to be able to pass. We want everything to be fluent, right? And Parker and Thune and I talked about this last episode a little bit about, we should be able to see this offense. What we expect as Oklahoma fans and what we can at least be excited about is if we see this offense rolling down the field consistently and with ease. So, we want to see that offense rolling down the field with ease, and we don't want to see any kind of hiccups through there. This is a Temple team that we should be able to roll right over. We are a 42-point favorite. If you're a betting man and you have a way to bet, I would put money on that 42-point favorite, even if it's 43. I would put money on that. But starting off with Jackson Arnold, I really want to see Jackson Arnold start off hot, and I want to see him really being able to make his reads. I want to see Jackson Arnold being able to look through the field and see an open receiver and be able to connect with him with ease. And I also want to be able to see, we'll get to it in a second, but him be not so pressured, be able to sit there and be calm in the pocket. And that's going to come on the offensive line, and I'll get to them. But starting off with just Jackson Arnold, just like we saw in the bowl game against Arizona, which I don't want to bring that up because I understand a lot of people just look at the interceptions. I think he threw 3 if I'm remembering that correctly. Just like we saw in the bowl game, though, against Arizona, we're going to see him come out throwing the ball and throwing it pretty fast. I honestly, it's kind of a 50-50 right now, obviously, but I think the first play of the game is going to be a pass play from the Sooners. I don't think they come out, especially against the Temple team, I don't think they come out and run the ball because Temple wants to stack the box and just not let Oklahoma bully them in the trenches and run all over them. And so for Oklahoma, they're just going to go up and they're going to try to find a way to just air it out, see what we can do early. And so I expect that to happen. If it's not the first play, you're going to see that very quickly in the game. I think you're going to see Jackson Arnold throwing the ball. And I think, Sooner fans, here's one thing I've got for you. You're going to have a little bit more confidence. I know it's against Temple, but you're going to have a little bit more confidence in Jackson Arnold when you see him passing in this game. A lot of people, I'm seeing this all over Sooner fans and even outside media, they have a lot of skepticism on Jackson Arnold because of what he did in that bowl game. Don't put so much on him for that bowl game, okay? Don't do that. You're going to see him shine in this game. He's going to come out passing early. Jackson Arnold's going to look good. That's what we expect to see. And I also expect to see some good connections between him and Nick Anderson. I think Brendan Thompson probably will be in there as well, just because he's going to be one of those starters. But then Jaleel Farouk, we really want to see some easy and good connections, good chemistry between Jackson Arnold and Nick Anderson, Jaleel Farouk. And I would also say Deion Burks. That's going to be a given one. And Deion Burks and Jackson Arnold have had amazing chemistry in fall camp so far. We're going to see it in this game, and it's going to be even clearer in this game than it was before. I don't think you'll see Andrel Anthony out there on the field much, if at all, but that's okay. He's still kind of healing, so we're totally fine with that. That's some of the guys that I expect to see. And I also think that Seth Luttrell is going to try to work in the tight ends. I think you're going to see Bauer Sharp and Jake Roberts in there. Try to find them over the middle. Those are big targets. 2 really big pickups for us as well. So, I'm really glad that we've got these two guys, and I think we're going to see them a lot more than we saw last year, just because we didn't have that tight end to really stand out and really be a big force over the middle the way that we do now. And we've got like 3 tight ends this year that we could throw in at any moment in the game. So definitely something that I look forward to. So we're going to pass the ball a lot early. We're definitely going to lean on that run for this game. Just try to get through the game, run the clock out, keep the clock rolling. But early on, I'm going to say in the first quarter, you're going to see that ball through the air a bunch, and you're going to see some really, really quick scoring. After that, you're going to see us run the ball. You're going to see us establish that. Let's get to the offensive line, because if we're passing the ball, if we're running the ball, we want to see that offensive line pay very close attention just to how they work together out there on the field. Does it look like they're bumping into each other? Does it look like they're picking up the wrong guy and trying to, maybe be sloppy and jump back there and pick up a guy a little too late? Do they pick up the inside guy when they should be picking up the edge rusher? There's a lot of specific little things. So if you want to focus on one thing, because we've talked about this, there's only one concern that we have for our Oklahoma team this year, and it is that offensive line, that O-line. And it is a concern. So what are we going to see from them against an easy opponent like Temple, who we should be able to push around? For our starters for this game, we're going to see Michael Tarkin at left tackle. Then going over left guard, you got Jacob Sexton. At center, you're going to have Branson Hickman. And then at right guard, you're going to have Febechi Nwiwu. And then you're at right tackle, you're going to have Jake Taylor or Spencer Brown. It's kind of up in the air from what I understood on the depth chart. I think Jake Taylor, to me, from what I've heard and from what I know, Jake Taylor being in the program for a few years now, I feel like Jake Taylor is going to be your right tackle, but you're going to kind of see that move around a little bit, maybe tonight. So expect those guys. Do they allow any tackles for loss in this game? Again, Temple is an extremely easy opponent, so we should not have any kind of tackles for loss. I don't think we should have a single one, unless it feels like maybe a bad read by a running back, or maybe Jackson Arnold tries running and gets himself caught up between some linemen and gets swallowed up. Something silly like that. That's the only exception that I'm going to give for us allowing a tackle for loss or a sack at all in this entire game. I really don't think you should see even one. Again, given the exception that the running back just makes a mistake, or whoever has the ball makes a mistake. But what kind of offense are we going to expect? It's not going to be a lot different than Jeff Lebby's offense, okay? And I know that sounds alarming, because Oklahoma fans didn't like Jeff Lebby too much towards the end of the season last year. But just understand, it is going to be a little bit different, okay? So understand that it's going to be a little bit different, but basically the same type of offense, okay? It's not going to be the same play calls. We're going to have that balanced run game, a spread pass game, much like what we saw last year. Seth Littrell seems to like to lean on the pass game, but in this game, expect to try to figure out that run game, especially getting into SEC play, because we are going to need to figure out that run game when we get to games like Auburn and then Tennessee before Auburn. So we're going to have to figure out that run game and figure out a way for these running backs to find good running room, all of that fun stuff. So definitely something to look forward to. It's going to still line up with these wide receivers out wide like they were last year. And the idea behind this open field is that it creates a bunch of space for your young quarterback, Jackson Arnold, to look through and to be able to find his receivers with ease. So, it's going to be plenty of run game, even throughout the season. But, like I said, Seth Littrell likes to, if you look at him in the past, he likes to pass more than run. I don't think he's going to stay true to that mindset when we get into the SEC for the reasons I just mentioned. So, imagine that this Oklahoma offense is going to look, it's going to go back to looking a lot like what we looked like with Josh Heupel, which I think is totally fine. And it didn't have as much tempo, but that's okay. And we're totally fine with that. And I think we're going to use that run game, open up the pass game, and maybe even switch back and use that pass game to open up the run game. So it's going to be very similar to what you saw with Josh Heupel. And you're going to see that similarity once we get to week 4, whenever we face Tennessee and we have Tennessee come into Norman. So ultimately, what should we expect from this offense against a team that we should be able to run all over? First, just move the ball, get into the end zone with ease, and at least in the first 2 quarters, just be able to see the end zone easily, be able to get first downs easily, and then obviously, of course, the run game as well. Be able to open up lanes, open up gaps for those running backs to run through. I don't want to see a single pressure in the backfield. That's my expectation, because if we're starting to see, if we see a couple of just mess ups and you got a couple of guys getting the backfield just for pressure, but there's no tackles for loss, we can kind of write that off. But if you're seeing that, maybe twice a drive, even once a drive, you're seeing some pressure come off an edge, maybe a guy blitz through the middle, that's alarming, because this Temple team does not have a defensive line that should be able to stand up against our offensive line. I don't care how much chemistry they have. They ought to be able to handle it just fine with this. So I want to see good gaps for the run game opened up. And honestly, my expectation, I'm going to say 12-plus yards per play is what I'm going to expect. So 12-plus yards per play at the end of the game. I think it's going to be bigger than that. I think it's going to be like 18, honestly, because this Temple team is just not good. I'm going to jump to the comments section. Again, guys, jump down in the comments section. It looks like the Zoom link isn't working, and somebody brought that to my attention. So that's okay. I will try to get that working by the time we get around next time for sure. So I don't want to try to mess with that. Like I said, I don't have a producer helping me today, so everything's on me. But jump into the comments section real quick. We got Blue. Hey, Blue, thank you so much for jumping in. Blue says, I think Oklahoma really wants to establish the run game for SEC play. I can see them running the ball a lot. Yeah, absolutely. I think Seth Luttrell, like I said, I think Seth Luttrell is going to try to utilize that run game. And on top of that, Javonte Barnes, as long as he can stay healthy, a lot of great things coming from him in camp. I didn't hear a lot about Gavin Sawchuk, but we know what we can expect from him. He ended with 5 straight games with 100-plus rushing yards, so we know what we can expect from him, absolutely. But, yeah, we want to see that run game. Like I said, Auburn and Tennessee, those 2 games we really want to lean on the run game and use that run game to just chew up clock, especially against Tennessee, because Tennessee can score at will. Heupel is very good at eating out the clock, but he's very good at he can air it out. He can find guys. He's got skill players. He can score whenever he wants. So definitely use that run game. Going on to William Staggs, he says, I agree it'll probably be balanced, but I expect a lot of 3 and outs from our D, therefore a lot of opportunities to run the ball and clock. Yeah, absolutely. And I haven't gotten to the defense yet. I will get to them. Real quick, I want to hear from you guys too. Who will be the first touchdown scored? Because I'm going to get to that in just a second. I'll tell you who I think. If you follow me on X, I think I've put that out there like 3 or 4 times. But let me know who you think is going to score the first touchdown, because I think that's kind of interesting. You look at all the skill players, there could be a lot, but absolutely, William, we're going to use that run game a lot after we get that comfortable lead. Just waste the clock. Rely on your defense, even if we do have to punt the ball away later in the game when we're up 40, 45 points. I'm not going to be mad about that when we've got our backups in and stuff. Let's just get out of this game clean, healthy, and like I said, we just want to see that offensive line. We want to see the offense moving. With a great offensive line, I think we're going to be really good this year. Reed Richardson says, what's up? What's up, Reed? He says, how do you think Jackson will do today? I think Jackson Arnold is going to have a very good day. I think I expect him 0 turnovers the entire day. This is Temple. We should be able to handle them with ease, like I've been saying. I really think Jackson Arnold is going to at least put a little bit of ease in the mind of Sooner fans, because Sooner fans are nervous because we saw him throw 3 interceptions and I think 6 total turnovers, if memory serves me correctly, against Arizona. That's not Jackson Arnold. He's had an entire summer. He's had an entire fall, entire winter, even backing up. He's been working, all right. And so not only that, but it's freshman jitters that he had in that bowl game as his first official start, his first full game start, dude. So a lot of people are very hard on him. I think he's going to put a little bit of ease in the minds of Sooner fans today. So I think Jackson's going to do very good. I think he's going to have. I don't really know for yardage because he's not going to play the whole game. Maybe the first half at most. I don't think he plays by the third quarter. We're going to be ahead really quick today, but Reed, thank you so much for jumping in. Again, guys, if you could, this is our first time going live for a pregame show. We want to get the engagement going. I appreciate everybody who's jumping in the chat so far. Like I said, we will have call-ins later on. I just can't get that working today. It might just be my internet connection. I'm in an Airbnb right now, so excuse me for that. But yeah, I mean, jump in the chat if you could, since this is our first time. Share it with one friend. That's all I ask, or put it on social media. Jump in the chat real quick and let me know what you're thinking. But going back to Blue, he says, at what point in the game do we see Hawkins assuming we're controlling the game? Third quarter? Yeah, I think third quarter. Beginning third quarter was what I hope, because I hope we're up far enough where it's like, hey, Jackson, you had a really good game. We're liking what we saw from you. You just put up 250 yards in the first half. Sit out, man. Let's put Michael Hawkins in, and I'm very excited to see him. We've got two very mobile quarterbacks, and that's something that I think we've been keeping under wraps, is that Jackson Arnold is extremely mobile. So that's something to look forward to. But, yeah, Blue, third quarter, that's what I think. And then let's see here. Blue says, I think Sawchuk first touchdown. William also says Sawchuk first touchdown. And then he even says, I will go so far to predict Sawchuk from 40-plus yards out. I love that. I love that prediction. And I think Sawchuk is my second pick. Here's why. And I'm going to jump to that. So you guys keep on throwing those down there. Let me know who you think is going to score the first touchdown of the game, and I will try to get to those in just a minute. But first touchdown of the game, I have Deion Burks, long bomb. We have been seeing a chemistry between Jackson Arnold and Deion Burks very similar to Drake Stoops and Dylan Gabriel last year. Even with guys like, I would compare it to Baker Mayfield and Hollywood Brown. That is maybe it was Kyler and Hollywood Brown that I'm thinking of that had the really big connections. I'm kind of drawing a blank, but anyways, Hollywood Brown, whenever he had that breakout season, and all of a sudden everybody's like, who the heck is this kid showing up on the scene? I think he's got that kind of speed. Deion Burks does. Deion Burks has almost Hollywood Brown speed. He's able to blow the top off the defense. He's kind of lined up in that slot, so closer to the middle of the field, easier to find. If you have a mismatch somewhere on Deion Burks, I think Deion Burks goes for the first touchdown. And to go to William Stagg's comment, 40-plus out for Sawchuk, I think 40-plus out for Deion Burks for that exact reason. He has extreme chemistry, and we love to see it from the chemistry between Deion Burks and Jackson Arnold. That is going to be his favorite wide receiver. I see Reed says, I think Nick Anderson. That's another good one. Nick Anderson, how many games in a row did he have a touchdown? Was it like 5 or 6 games in a row last year? He broke out, had that big touchdown against Texas, and just shined after that. He really came out big time. So, yeah, Nick might be the guy. And William, no, Nick Anderson is not out. He is fully healthy from to my knowledge. So he's fully healthy. He's expected to be playing, but probably not a lot. So if Anderson gets a touchdown in this game, it's in the first quarter. I don't think you're going to see those first couple, like you're not going to see Andrel Anthony much, if at all. You're not going to see Jaleel Farouk much. You're not going to see Nick Anderson much. I think the wide receivers, we're going to put them on the bench by the end of the first quarter, in my opinion. That's just what I feel like. You're going to put them off to the side because then again, run the ball. So yeah, I think we still have Nick Anderson. Maybe there was something that I missed, but I do know that we've got Jaden Gibson out for the year. Andrel Anthony kind of still banged up, and so he's healthy. From what last I heard, he's healthy. Jaleel Farouk also healthy, expected to play. Andrel Anthony, I think we're just going to sit him on the bench and just let him stand on the sidelines. I don't know if he even suits up. Maybe he does just for the sake of it. But yeah, so far wide receiver room looking very good. Yeah. Blue says same. We haven't been 2 or 3 deep in many years. Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long time since we've been this deep in the wide receiver room. I've been comparing it to the Ohio State wide receiver room, how deep they're able to be year in, year out. But guys, let's jump over to the defense. Here in a little bit, I'm going to get to score predictions. Give your guys' score predictions down below because I would love to see what you guys have for score predictions. I already put my original score prediction out in a past video, but if you don't know, I will give you my score prediction. And I've even got an update to my score prediction because I got to think on a little bit more, and I might have changed it. So let me see your score predictions for Oklahoma versus Temple. But let's jump on to the defense. What should we expect from the defense? I know what we can expect from the defense. They're going to be physical. So that's all that we ask. Just be physical overall. But what do we hope for from the defense? I think ultimately we're going to hope that we can just be physical in the trenches. That's what my idea is. So, I'm looking at the trenches. That's where I want to be the most physical. We saw that against Texas last year, so I have no doubt that we're going to be physical again this year, and I honestly think we're going to be even more physical this year because of the extra additions that we've added, because of the extra experience that we have, and guys like Danny Stutzman and Billy Bowman. You've got guys like Ethan Downs who really improved a lot from that Texas game forward. So I think you're going to see us be physical. Can we be physical in the trenches, and can we be consistently physical in the trenches? That's what I want to see the most out of anything. I will allow chunk plays through the air here and there, little chunk plays like 8 to 12 yards here and there, because I don't think they're going to score much. And if you have a blown coverage, that's a lot more understandable than not being able to stop the run. So no chunk plays on the run, on the ground. And then can we get in the backfield and disrupt the run and the pass? That's what I really want to see. I really want to see us get some sacks. I want to see 5 sacks, depending on how much they throw the ball. Maybe they don't throw it very much, but I want to see 5+ sacks. That's ultimately what I want to see. And I looked down, I bounced down and saw Reed says, I hope we can put pressure on their QB. I totally agree. So, I want to see pressure on that QB. 5+ sacks is my expectation. I really want to see that because that gives me a lot more hope going into SEC play. And we're going to need that pass rush to be disruptive, specifically against the first 2 opponents that we see in the SEC. I'm not worried about Texas, I'll tell you that right now. I think we beat Texas comfortably this year, more than we did last year, and I'll get to that later on in the season, I promise. But starting off with those first 2 games, Tennessee and Auburn, our first 2 SEC games, we have to disrupt the backfield, specifically on the quarterback, and we really need to stop the run game and get tackles for loss. So we have to be physical in the run game on defense. We have to be able to disrupt and be physical in the trenches. That's the biggest thing I'm worried about. That's the biggest thing I want to see in this game is, can we be physical in the trenches? Who to watch out for on defense? I'm going to name, 4 guys that I put down in my notes that I want to name off. Jaden Jackson, defensive tackle. He's going to be number 65 this year. Watch out for him. He's a freshman. There's been a ton of praise from both coaches and players in this fall camp from him, and they've been looking at him saying, I expect him to be a star. And so Jaden Jackson, I really want to see, I want to hear his name called several times. If you're watching on TV tonight, hopefully you hear Jaden Jackson gets another tackle for a loss. I want to hear his name a ton because I've been hearing so many amazing things, seeing some highlights from some of the practices and fall camp. That's something I'm really looking forward to. He may be a young guy that we could see a lot this year if we hear his name called a lot tonight. So that's somebody who I'm really looking forward to. Nose tackle Dominic Williams. He's a transfer. He's a junior. He transferred from TCU. We knew he was going to be good. He's going to be number 52. So keep an eye out for him right in the middle of that defensive line. We knew he was going to be good when he came from TCU, but Brent Venables has been talking about this guy and how much he's improved, and he's seen tremendous improvement, which if I'm seeing tremendous improvement from a guy that's already really good, I like what I'm seeing. Excuse me as I take a little bit of a sip. Still got some coffee from earlier. Amazing. Had to get that, kind of wet my whistle a little bit. But, Dominic Williams, we've seen a lot of improvement apparently through fall camp. So really looking forward to seeing him. Number 52 and number 65. Jaden Jackson, 65. Dominic Williams, 52. In that cheetah role, we're seeing a little bit of a switch up. And I don't know if this is something that they're just testing out in this game, but we got Kendall Dolby, number 15. I don't know if you guys remember Kendall Dolby. If you remember last year in the Texas game, it was Billy Bowman had a big hit on a wide receiver right as he caught the ball, and I don't remember who the wide receiver was, some Texas wide receiver, but he hit him right as he touched the ball, popped the ball up in the air, and Kendall Dolby picked it off. That's the kind of plays that we saw from Kendall Dolby. He's extremely fast, extremely high IQ on defense for as young as he's been, for when he was younger. Seeing how much he's progressed is what I mean, and I'm really expecting him to have a big jump this year. So very excited about Kendall Dolby being in at that cheetah role. That's going to be a lot of fun. So he's going to be all over the field. He's going to be confusing the quarterbacks throughout the season as a cheetah. He's really fast and he's really smart. He's going to be hiding all over the field, maybe coming in on a edge blitz, which is hard for a defensive lineman to step back fast enough to get in his way because he's coming way off the edge on the outside. I love that. So Kendall Dolby at the cheetah role at number 15. And then we've got our free safety, Peyton Bowen, the freshman stepping in. I believe redshirt freshman. He might be a sophomore. I don't know if he might have lost his eligibility last year, so I think he's just listed as a sophomore. But he's number 22. So keep an eye on Peyton Bowen. There's been a lot of buzz around him, and Sooner fans wanted to see him play last year. We didn't see him as much last year. And this year, you're going to see him. And I do want to kind of take a little bit of a jab at whoever it was. I didn't go back. I'm not going to pull up the receipt. I don't care that much. But I had several people, honestly, telling me Peyton Bowen isn't going to see any returns. That's ridiculous. And then I also had a lot of people commenting that we're going to see him as a starter. I don't think he's going to be a starter throughout the season in every game. Maybe off and on. But I honestly think that Robert Spears-Jennings will ultimately be the starting role for that safety spot. But Peyton Bowen is listed as a starter in this game. That's bound to change. But if he shows up, he could be the guy. And this is a guy that we love to see to kind of fill in that safety role, especially when we're going to lose Billy Bowman after this year. So extremely excited to see him. But going back to that punt return, we're going to see him return punts. Parker Thune was talking, and I can't remember what show he was on when he was talking about it, but he's expecting to see Peyton Bowen take one to the house on punt return before the lights turn on in Norman. So before the sun even goes down, he's expecting to see that much. Extremely high praise. So, I'm really, really excited to see Peyton Bowen, both on defense. I want to see what he's capable of in this game. And then obviously I want to see him at punt return because I've heard tons of things. I know he's been working really hard trying to convince the coaches to let him go back on punt return. He wants to get in on kick return too. Extremely dangerous guy, so I'm excited there. But you guys let me know, who else are you looking forward to seeing on defense? Because I think that's kind of like that's the side of the ball that we're most excited about, right? But let's get to score predictions. I'm going to jump in the chat and see what you guys had for score predictions. It looks like Blue McGinnis says 45-3. I think that we focus on establishing the run, which slows the game down a little. That's a good guess, and that's right at the line. Right, last I saw, 42 points was the spread right now. So that's right there. So you have us barely covering it, kind of breaking even on it. So if you were to put a bet, you just get your money back. But that might be a little low for our offense. I think we have 45 by almost halftime, maybe a little bit after halftime. I think that by halftime we're going to have 40 points, and then our third string can come in. Casey Thompson can come in as a third string quarterback and put some points up on the board as well. But I do like that. I like that prediction quite a bit. William Staggs, he says, in Temple's last 5 games against power opponents, they have scored a total of 14 points. I'm hoping for a shutout. I agree. I'm hoping for a shutout, and I think we're capable of a shutout. But you have to realize, too, that we're going to have some third stringers in later on in the game where we're not really pressing hard. We're telling them, hey, we're trying to stay healthy, and they might have a freak play that gets them down to the red zone, maybe kick a field goal, maybe score a touchdown. So I agree. I'm hoping for a shutout, and I think that's much more, it puts a lot more ease on the heart, maybe a little, if we see a shutout. So definitely. And then let's see, Mars Jams. Hey, welcome to the chat, man. He says, I believe there's more improvement because we're learning about more skills here at Oklahoma. Absolutely. Let me go through. Okay, Mars says, Temple got beat by SMU 55. Where's your score prediction? Do I see yours? 45-0. Okay, I like 45-0. Again, that's covering the spread. That's what I expect. I think we cover the spread, which is at 42, 43 points. So if we can cover that spread, I like that a lot. So also Mars, yeah, you do your homework. Temple's been a shutout 3 times. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But this is a new team. So who knows? Maybe we see a better Temple team. But I like that. And then Reed says, my score prediction, 52-0. I like that one a lot. 52-0, you're putting up 50-plus points. That's what I expect from this offense, honestly. 50-plus points. Because Temple's just not good, guys. Temple's not good. William says 59-0. By the time our third string is in, so should theirs. Yeah, I mean, you're right. So why not put their backups in and stuff? You're right. They will have some backups in there. So maybe you guys are convincing me even more that we should be able to shut them out. But my score predictions, they shouldn't have any issues handling business against Temple. Let's get Jackson F. Arnold kind of comfortable, get him in there, air it out a little bit. My original prediction, if you watched the show just a little while back, whenever I gave my predictions through every game, you can go back and look at that. I said 68-13. That's because of garbage points. That happens to every team. Not every team, but it does happen to every team. Eventually, here and there, you're going to have some garbage points allowed. I'm okay with allowing 13 if it's our third and fourth string coming in and we're telling them to hold back and just get out of this game healthy. But after a little bit more thinking, and I will stick true to my predictions, my preseason predictions, even though I'm going to change them as time comes up. I think we're deep enough and talented enough to keep them out of the end zone all game. I think, there might be those weird chunk plays where they get 8 to 12 yards, like I said, and that's okay. I mean, if that happens here and there, especially later on in the game when we don't have our starters going on. So looking at that, I'll change my new prediction. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring up my original preseason predictions, and then I'm going to bring up a new prediction. My new prediction, I'm going to say 68-6. Keep us up at 68. Guys, I really think we're going to score more than 50 points. And I know a lot of you guys are expecting right around that 45 points for our offense, and that's totally fine. And I won't be mad about that, especially if we do run the ball, like we've been mentioning, run the ball and waste the time on the clock a lot more. One thing to look forward to, as a good thing and a bad thing, is the 2-minute warning at the end of first and end of second half. If you're not used to the NFL rules, that 2-minute warning is kind of like an extra timeout, so it can help you or hurt you. So that's something to look forward to. So looking at this, let's take like at least one turnover. I would love to see 2 turnovers. Let's say 2+ turnovers. That's what we want to see. And let's say they win. Oklahoma, I'll bump my offense down a little bit. Maybe we don't score as much. I'll say 58-6. We might allow a couple of little field goals here and there. Let me jump down to the chat one more time for you guys. Again, give me your guys' season predictions. Do you have any bold predictions? I forgot to mention that. We're running short on time. I have to get going. I do have some things I've got to do down at the stadium too, so got to get going here soon. But let's see. We've got Blue jumps back in. He says we're probably playing into the lineup second half. I can see the scoring slowing down in the second half. Absolutely. It will slow down. Oklahoma's not going to try as hard on offense. We're going to, like we mentioned, we're going to use that run game, kind of get out of there. And then Mars says, I'm in Norman, Oklahoma. The energy here is strong. People are ready for the game time. Yeah, Mars, I'm here too, man. If you see me walking around, come up and give me a high five or something. Yell boomer at me. I would love to meet all of you guys. I don't live close to Norman. I try to get down here as often as I can, especially since starting this new podcast. So yeah, absolutely. I would love to get to know you guys. But let's see here. Going down through here. William says, jealous. Wish I was in Norman right now. William, let's get you down to Norman, man. Let's try to get this this channel growing. If you guys can help, which William, I've seen you in the comments all over. So huge thanks to you. You've been one of the super fans. Let's get this channel growing and get this thing growing to the magnitude that we want it to. And let's get you some tickets to get you down here to Norman. But let's see. Mars says 10-2. That's your bold prediction, or is that just a season prediction? Either or. I think it's somewhat bold. 10 wins on this schedule. And then let's see. William says, I also would like to see no special team mistakes. Yes, I agree with that. So yeah, I think looking at this 10-2 so far is what I'm seeing. I want to pull up some other bold predictions that I saw. I had a lot on social media that I want to pull up for you guys. A lot of them. So I put it out there. I said, let me see here if I can get the right one pulled up here. So give me your bold predictions for the Oklahoma Sooners. And a lot of these weren't bold, but let's see what we've got here. Let's go all the way to the top if I can get this going up. We had a lot of comments on this one, so huge thanks to Sooner Nation. But let's see here. 10-2. William says, would love that. Hey, William, if you would, send an email over to SoonerSpotlightPod@gmail.com. That's SoonerSpotlightPod@gmail.com. Just send me an over an email and say, hey, this is William Staggs from the chat. Let's try to hook you up, man. Let's see. One of them was 10-2, which was just like what you said, Mars, 10-2. So yeah, I mean, it is bold because we do have a really tough schedule. I'm predicting a 9-3 schedule, or 9-3 season on this year. So anything above that, I mean, 9-3 is pretty bold based on what everyone else is saying. We're expected to only have 7 or 8 wins. So absolutely. 10-2 losses are Ole Miss and LSU. That's what I have too. So that was from Tyson. Armando says, he says 9-3 with losses to Auburn, Ole Miss, and LSU. I would say Tennessee is more of a worry than Auburn, maybe. I don't know. They're very equal because if we flipped those, if they're both home games, I would say Tennessee more than Auburn. But Auburn at Auburn is more of a worry. I'm going to Auburn to go and watch that one. I've got a buddy, and actually the War Report network that I'm a part of here with this podcast, they actually started off, they're all Auburn guys. They started off Auburn, expanding out to SEC. So let me see. Here's one from Garrett. He said, I'm really going to enjoy beating Ole Miss. 9 out of 10 predictions have them as a loss. That's true, and I'm one of those that was, I don't know why everyone's predicting them a loss because we should be able to beat them, right? So I'm right there with Garrett. That is a bold prediction. We're gonna beat Ole Miss. Let's do it. I see Jimmy Satterfield jumped in the chat. He said 11-1. I like that a lot. I would love to see 11-1. And you know what? There was another chat here on social media from Joshua Josephs that said 11-1 regular season, lose to Georgia in the SEC game, first 4 out of the playoffs. That would be a 12 out of 10 bold prediction because if we win 11 games, go to the SEC championship game, and we don't make the playoffs, what the heck happened this year to everyone else? Is everyone else undefeated? Do we have like 5 undefeated teams or something? No, if we win 10 games, we're in the playoffs. I promise you that. 10 games, we're in the playoffs. 9 games, we're on the outside looking in. But guys, real quick, if you would, go down in the description below and check out the merch store. We've got a merch store open. We just opened it up. I've got a team that was helping me out getting that all going. So huge thanks to them. Shout out to them. They know who they are. If you would, go check that out. Let me know if there's something too. Feel free. I'm going to open this up to everybody. If you see something in the merch store that you like, and maybe it's a tough economy, guys. Maybe there's something in that merch store that you like. Send that over to me either to DM on X or email me at SoonerSpotlightPod@gmail.com. I'm going to throw that one out there just because you guys are tuning in to the first pregame show. Please go check that out. I would love to set you guys up for some merch. But let's see here. I see Mars says, I hate to lose to Georgia twice, but if we get to the SEC, I'm assuming SEC championship, we won't complain. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to complain with losing to Georgia. Out of anybody on our schedule, Georgia is the one that, you know what, I will step back and say you are daddy of the SEC, and until somebody beats them and proves otherwise, that is the team to beat in the SEC. Absolutely, I agree with you. Let's go. Neil Schroeder said undefeated national champions. I would love to see that. That's not what I'm thinking is going to happen. I don't think anybody goes undefeated this year. So it's not just me being hard on Oklahoma. Do I hope we go undefeated? Am I going to cheer for us to go undefeated? Heck yeah. Let's go undefeated. But I don't think anybody is going to. I don't think anybody is going to go undefeated this year. But I would love to see that. I think he had some. He had a comment that I liked too. He had a comment from Delbert Jenkins. He said, "Did you say that in 2000 also? LOL, if you did, you were probably the only one. Other folks hadn't heard about Sooner Magic yet." So that was pretty funny. There was a ton, guys. Here's one more I'll get to that was on social media. Huge thanks to everyone. If you're one of those who commented on social media and gave me some of your bold predictions, thank you so much. And so we've got Shane Posey said 10-2. Stutzman wins Butkus Award. JFA, Jackson F. Arnold. If you don't know what that means, that's probably not a PG-13 thing to say. But anyways, Jackson Arnold wins SEC Newcomer of the Year. Burks goes for 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. OU ranked the second defense in the conference. All right, that's a very bold prediction with all of that happening. But that's also all very achievable. Like Jackson Arnold could have a really good year, be SEC Newcomer of the Year. Stutzman could win the Butkus Award. I mean, he's, I would say, top 2 defenders in the nation. Like if you're taking just, I would say at least top 5, maybe top 3 single defenders in the nation, in my opinion. And I know we're biased because we're Sooner fans, but we're allowed to be. If you're not rooting for somebody, then what are you doing? But that's all I'm going to get to, guys, because I said I was going to go about 30 to 45 minutes. We're pushing on 50 minutes. But I thank you all so much for tuning in. And, guys, we're going to do this on at least every Friday. If it's a late game, maybe we'll try to jump in and do a live show on Saturdays as well. But stay tuned to this channel on YouTube. Stay tuned because we're going to go live and we're going to have a pregame show every week before every game. Lord willing, we're going to be here. So, yeah, absolutely. One more down to the chat. Mars, he says, if we go undefeated, that's a special season. Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. But, guys, if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned to the channel because times may vary based on when we can go live before the game, so for our pregame shows. So please stay tuned. Hit that notification bell. You can also follow me on X, formerly known as Twitter. Jimmy, thank you very much. I just glanced down and saw your comment. Thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in. This is our first, not our last. Next time, we will try to work it out. We will make sure we work it out and make sure that our call-ins on that link down below is working. So apologies. That's on my behalf, I think. It might just be technology. So let's get this thing going. If you guys would, please share this channel on social media. You can go follow me over on X, formerly known as Twitter. If you're on there, go follow me over there. That's at Real Josh Mahler. That should be down in the description as well. We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify now. So if you guys would help the podcast out, go hit. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button or that follow button and give us a 5-star review. That helps us grow so much over there. It helps more than you know. And also hit that like button down below. Guys, I thank you so much for all the love, all the support. Sooner fans, you are the best. Let's go beat Temple and let's roll over them. Let's go shut them out, guys. All right, let's not settle for this like what I was mentioning. With maybe only got a couple of field goals or something. Let's not even settle for that. Let's go shut them out. Let's put up 50+ points on them, cover that spread, and feel really good about our Sooners. We've got an amazing season ahead of us getting into the SEC. I thank you all so much for tuning in, for showing all the support that you have. Guys, we'll see you next time. Boomer.